All right, guys, welcome to another solo edition of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. Full transparency, they're all going to be solo editions moving forward unless I find a new co-host down the line. But RLWS was initially supposed to be the Robert Lentini Wrestling Show. I got a little self-conscious, thought, hey, could do it with my friend. He wanted to do it as well, Tony Squares, and we started up this podcast and renamed it to the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show instead of using my initials. I'm just going to keep that name because I find it amusing. But Tony Squares is ultimately more an NFL person. He has his own show. He's just got a lot going on, so he just didn't have the time. And always just we're trying to set times every week, and we live on opposite sides of the country. Wasn't going to work out long term. We gave it a run. 7 months, good enough. Tony Squares, if you want to follow him, the links are in the description. He's got an entertaining YouTube channel, funny TikToks, his shorts, when he has the bandwidth and stuff. He's really good at them. So we're going to move on as a solo show, and that's just the way it is. That's what happens with 99.9% of podcasts. I'm going to turn this more into a YouTube channel. I'm not sitting here for 45 minutes by myself. I'm not as exuberant as some of the people on here, but I know what I want to talk about, and I have the ability to get my point across. Just that's what happened. Sorry, guys, if you wanted to see Tony Squares on the show more, shit happens. Just follow him in the description. Life goes on. I'm still friends with the guy, just we don't work together anymore. But moving on, let's talk about last night's Raw, because it was an eventful night before the show even started. To me, I made a short about it. Samantha Irvin announced her departure out of nowhere. And I was like, holy shit, this is someone that AEW needs to sign. And I even said, not Ricochet. They didn't need to sign Ricochet. They need people like Samantha Irvin, personalities, people that can communicate, announce. Justin Roberts is fine. I'm not taking a shot at Justin Roberts by saying Samantha Irvin is an upgrade. It's just an honest thing. If there was someone more entertaining sitting here than me, it would be an upgrade. That's my point. Justin Roberts is a fine ring announcer. He's fine. I like how he announces Kenny Omega. But Samantha Irvin is like a generational talent at ring announcer, and if she can sing, and that's apparently what she's going to be pursuing, her music career, and she didn't want to travel, the WWE schedule, and Ricochet has said that she's not coming to AEW, all those points aside, I am begging Tony Khan to sign Samantha Irvin. Do whatever you can to bring her to the company, along with Renee Paquette, RJ City. That is your new hosts of your kickoff shows, backstage interviews. Samantha Irvin can do the ring announcing. You can keep Justin Roberts if Samantha Irvin wants to do other stuff in the company. But sign her, because people have a connection to her. She's emotionally invested in the product. Every time they would cut to her in these WWE reaction videos that post, she's welling up in tears announcing the winner of Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. It's just, she cares. And they need people like that in AEW that care. You get rid of the Miros, get rid of the Wardlows, or whoever that doesn't want to be there anymore. And if Samantha Irvin wants to be there, sign her. Tony Khan's got unlimited funds. Why the hell not? Bring her in. I'd love to see Samantha Irvin in AEW. But that was before the show. So heading into last night's Raw, I'm already amped up. And then they started off the show with a bang, I thought. There was a cold open with Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins just brawling backstage. The brawl continued all throughout the night. And Adam Pearce, finally, his testicles dropped and he just flipped out. And it was excellent. It was incredible. He just lost his mind on both men and said, you know what? I'm going to give you what you want. You just didn't even give me a chance. We had Adam Pearce sitting at Bronson Reed's house at a segment a couple weeks ago because of how bad he wanted to attack Rollins following the last Monster Standing match last month. But now we're getting this match. Adam Pearce shouted that we're getting this match at Crown Jewel, and I'm excited for it. My only fear, and I think it's going to come true, is that Bronson Reed's going to lose this match and fall right back to the mid-card, and that doesn't accomplish anything. Seth Rollins is likely going to be feuding with CM Punk. They had that stare down on the October 7th episode of Raw. That's probably his next feud, I think. One would think, heading into WrestleMania. Maybe they'll kick that off next month when Punk returns. I'm sure Punk will be in action at Survivor Series. He's just not going to Saudi Arabia, and who could blame him? But Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel on November 2nd. I'm looking forward to the match. I just don't think they're going to pull the trigger on Bronson Reed and give him this big win. In reality, he kind of needs it, because if he loses to Seth Rollins, he still has never won a championship on the main roster. Then he just falls back to the mid-card in irrelevancy, and he's just doing tsunami splashes to people, but he can't win a title or can't win a big match. So what does it mean? So I hope they give Rollins the victory. I mean, I hope they give Reed the victory at Crown Jewel, but we all know that Rollins will be picking up that win. The New Day continue to tease their breakup, but it hasn't happened yet. Did not happen during last night's match. They advanced in the World Tag Team Championship tournament. The winner of the tournament will be facing Finn Balor and JD McDonough for the World Tag Team Championships. I've honestly forgot that Finn Balor and JD McDonough are the tag team champions several times because they never defend them on WWE television. I don't know why they gave them the titles in June if they had no plans for them. It's October now. Might as well just take the titles off them. This is all you got. So, but the New Day advanced. They continue to tease their breakup. R-Truth got involved in the match because the Final Testament and The Miz beat the shit out of him a few weeks ago. And he helped them win. And then after the match, the Final Testament and The Miz beat the shit out of R-Truth again. As Xavier Woods was on the entrance ramp with Kofi Kingston, Kofi Kingston's pleading, hey, let's go help R-Truth. He just helped us. What are we doing? And Woods is like, no, we got to focus on winning the title. So they're still teasing that. That still is going to happen, I believe, unless Big E comes back and just saves this faction and works everything out and it's kumbaya and harmony once Big E comes back. That would be great. But other than that, I'm ready for the New Day to break up. If they're not bringing Big E back, it's just time. It's been time to break up the New Day for a while. They're dragging this storyline out as well, but it's entertaining. And I'm interested in Xavier Woods as a full-fledged heel. I'm interested in Xavier Woods just as a monster asshole character, just to see where that goes, because Woods is incredibly entertaining. On his YouTube channel, Up, Down, Down, when he was in TNA, back in the day, he was great. So I'd love to see Woods as a single star again, and I'm ready for the New Day to break up, unless with the caveat that Big E's coming back. If Big E's coming back, keep them together. If he's not, let's call it a day. But they won this match. They refused to help R-Truth after the Wyatt Six showed up. They attacked everyone. They went to attack. Uncle Howdy went to attack The Miz. He was shoved out of the way by Paul Ellering, the most Paul Ellering has ever done as a manager, not an NXT on the main roster. The most action we've ever seen out of Paul Ellering. He shoved The Miz out of the way, and Uncle Howdy hit him with the mandible claw, which is a cool throwback. I haven't seen that move in a while. And then after, this wasn't aired on Raw. It was a conversation between Karrion Kross and The Miz backstage. I think it was on Raw Talk. It's on WWE's YouTube. The Miz tried to back out of everything. He's just petrified. He's scared shitless of the Wyatt Six. He said, I don't want to be involved in this, man. Let's all just go our separate ways. And Karrion Kross was like, Paul Ellering just literally took a bullet for you. You're in this. And then they agreed to set up a plan together, whatever that means. I don't know how excited I can get for the Wyatt Six versus the Final Testament, but I will say this. This is the best I've seen Karrion Kross on the main roster. This character. And I did not think I'd say that at all. But he can cut a promo. He's just a little boring in the ring, but they don't use Scarlett well. There's so much potential with Karrion Kross that they could have just a really entertaining act here with him and Scarlett. And even the Authors of Pain in the Final Testament. It's just been floating along. They're jobbers. I would like that for that to change. I think they're going to lose to the Wyatt Six as they do with the Wyatt Six versus the Final Testament, some kind of street fight thing at Crown Jewel. The Wyatt Six are going to win. But I would rather see the Final Testament win and Karrion Kross be built up. But I think that those days are long since passed. They've botched so many opportunities with that BDSM mask that he debuted in a few years ago and lost to Jeff Hardy. I remember all that shit, and I can't forget it whenever I look at him, to be honest with you. And that's not his fault. But I don't see Kross going anywhere on the main roster, but I'd love to see it. He's a two-time NXT champion, but has never won a title on the main roster. Not even the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship. That's a tragedy for Kross, but I enjoyed this segment, and I enjoy Karrion Kross as the leader of the Final Testament. He's very menacing and can cut a promo. I'm just shocked that they haven't been able to figure out a plan to make this guy into at least a mid-card star. Like, he could be that as a heel United States or Intercontinental champion. He could easily be that. We got Damage Control's Io Sky and Kairi Sane versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan on Raw. This match was whatever. Rhea Ripley beat the hell out of the Judgment Day again. It is kind of concerning that Raquel Rodriguez has returned as Liv Morgan's bodyguard but can't defend her against Rhea Ripley at all. It's kind of shocking. Like, she just cannot muster any kind of fight against Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley just mowed through her again. got Liv Morgan in the Texas Cloverleaf, then Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the Texas Cloverleaf before the Judgment Day finally retreated. So Rhea Ripley just can topple over the entire Judgment Day by herself. I don't know how that's a good storyline, but more importantly, after Carlito made an ass of himself multiple times, once in storyline, and then once he just made an ass of himself. Io Sky and Kairi Sane are both Japanese. So Carlito goes first of all, he's in a meeting with the Judgment Day, and I think Liv Morgan suggested, or Dominic Mysterio said, I want to face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Carlito laughed hysterically, which is a bad move. Which is just a bad move for Carlito, and Raquel Rodriguez immediately said, what the hell do you do here? Which is just a great question. What the hell does Carlito do in the Judgment Day? There's rumors that he's going to be repackaged as a solo single star again with the Caribbean Cool gimmick, but we'll see, because after this he goes to Adam Pearce's office, and Io Sky and Kairi Sane are complaining about Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson getting involved in their match, and they go to leave and they're talking in Japanese, and Carlito says, well, Jesus, I gotta learn Chinese just so we can communicate. It was an innocent comment, but they're both Japanese, so it blew up on the internet, people calling it offensive. I don't think Carlito meant it to be offensive, but it's also been reported that it wasn't a scripted comment. He went off script and just in the moment said that. No heat on Carlito at the moment. I hope it stays that way. He doesn't deserve too much here, too much backlash. I sincerely do not believe that he was trying to be racially insensitive here. But that happened. That happened during last night's show and is blowing up on Twitter today. This is just a quick one. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee are a tag team in this tag team tournament against the Creed brothers, the Julius and Brutus Creed, who have not benefited at all since joining Chad Gable's American-made faction. They dropped that whole Chad Gable and Otis thing to form this American-made faction against the Wyatt Six, and it was a massive mistake. It was a massive mistake looking back on it. There's no doubt about it. They missed the ball with Otis. I can't believe I'm saying that, but now Otis is a non-factor. He's teaming with Akira Tozawa, and he lost to, I think, the Viking Raiders last week, the War Raiders, who finally returned. Yeah, just this match, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee just beat the Creed brothers with ease. The Creed brothers are supposed to be one of an incredibly dynamic tag team. I'm not seeing that. We're not being allowed to see that when this American-made thing and the street fights against the Wyatt Six, and now they're losing in tournaments to a makeshift team of Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. I get it, Rey Mysterio is a Hall of Famer, and I get it, they want to push Dragon Lee. But you can't give the Creed brothers a win here and there. They have not benefited from being in Chad Gable's faction, and I've just been disappointed with American Made. It's just a nothing faction so far, jobbers. Finally, we get to the main event, and I predicted that Jey Uso was going to lose this match, and I was right. And it kind of went exactly as I expected. The Bloodline showed up, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, they all get involved. They're all ringside. Jey Uso's battling through it. Bron Breakker seems confused as to why they're around the ring, and he even hit Fatu accidentally with a spear because Jey Uso got out of the way. So I thought for a second that, oh my God, maybe Fatu's going to attack Bron Breakker here and end this match in disqualification or something and have Jey Uso be able to escape with the title. That was not the case. Bron Breakker eventually capitalized on all these distractions for Jey Uso, hit him with a spear, or a super spear, as Joe Tessitore called it 48,000 times last night. A super spear! Whatever, it's a spear, and Breakker hit it to win the title back. So Jey Uso was Intercontinental Champion from like September 30th, I think he won it, till October 21st. So it was a 21-day reign. I don't know, or maybe he won it a little early. Maybe it was like a 28-day reign. Just a token title reign. That's what I was afraid of. He'd never won a singles title in the company. They obviously want him to get back in the original bloodline with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso to battle Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tonga Loa, and Tama Tonga. They're obviously doing that. We're slowly soap opera style building towards that. That's probably going to happen in a War Games match at Survivor Series with the original bloodline versus the new bloodline, and I'm excited for that. I just don't understand why they even bothered with the Jey Uso title reign. He's crying after he wins the title, and now he's already lost it. And he's probably not ever going to face Bron Breakker again in any time soon. He's probably going to focus all of his attention to going back to SmackDown and, you know, reconnecting with Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns, which is exciting. Maybe even Sami Zayn will join that. The honorary Uso. Why the hell not? He's not doing anything now. He's lost to Bron Breakker, Gunther. What title is he going to be chasing now? He's going to form a tag team with who? I'd love to see that. Bring the honorary Uso back. Why not? Drag this storyline out for another year and a half. They could. They got The Rock involved. He showed up at Bad Blood. So there's so much going on with the Bloodline. I'm really invested in that. I really am looking forward to that War Games match. Hypothetical War Games match. I've just booked it in my head. It makes perfect sense for that to be the Survivor Series main event. It has to be. But man, that Jey Uso title reign was forgettable. He defended it against Xavier Woods, right? And that's pretty much it. And then he just lost it back to Bron Breakker. He defeated Bron Breakker at a bunch of live events, but on television, he only defeated Xavier Woods and then lost the title back to Breakker, I believe. So totally forgettable. Cool moment for Jey. Cool thing for the stat sheet, but just in comes to storyline, it just felt like a token title reign in this past month was just kind of a waste of everybody's time on Raw. It is what it is, but I know that Jey Uso is going to be reconnecting with the original Bloodline, and that's going to be exciting for everyone. So Triple H introduced these Crown Jewel championships at Bad Blood for the Crown Jewel pay-per-view on November 2nd. And they opened on Raw and they're shining the titles. And I just couldn't give a shit. And I just want to talk about what the hell these titles are there for and just preview the 3 matches on the card right now at Crown Jewel. So Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins, we've already talked about. Looking forward to that match. They should kick off the show with that. They should beat the hell out of each other. I'm looking forward to that. Then we get to the first Crown Jewel Championship match. It's what this essentially is Survivor Series in Saudi Arabia. It's champion versus champion, but they just introduced this shitty new title that I don't understand how anybody will ever care about. And it'll probably be gone in a few years, like the Greatest Royal Rumble. Remember that disaster? The only thing I remember about the Greatest Royal Rumble is Titus O'Neil falling under the ring. That clip will live on forever in infamy. That's one of my favorite clips. That's it. If you remember the Greatest Royal Rumble event that was in 2018 in Saudi Arabia, I believe. I don't think they ever did another one. It was 50 men in a Royal Rumble. Went on for far too long, and I think Braun Strowman won, and he won a trophy. It's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on steroids. He won a trophy. This is another trophy. This is like a Vince McMahon thing that I used to get frustrated with. It's just, what is the stakes for this Crown Jewel Championship? So Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax is the first match I want to talk about. Both heels at the moment. Both heels. So who am I supposed to be cheering for? Are they turning Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton babyface? I don't know what's going on. There's no way Liv Morgan is the babyface. Maybe people in Saudi Arabia will just cheer for Liv Morgan, I guess. But that's one of those. That match, the build to that match so far has sucked because it's been Tiffany Stratton almost cashing in on Liv Morgan, but Dominic Mysterio saving her. But again, Tiffany Stratton is probably the one people out of Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, they care about Tiffany Stratton more. Nia Jax is just a monster heel. Liv Morgan's an annoying heel who people love, Rhea Ripley. So I don't understand this match unless they're planning on having Liv Morgan or Nia Jax lose the title beforehand, the Women's World Championship or the WWE Women's Championship, to get another person in this match, a babyface. Otherwise, this build, I'll be rooting for Liv Morgan just by default, I guess. Just by, she's less annoying than Nia Jackson's storyline. I don't understand what they're doing with this match. It's frustrating, and I'm also very annoyed that they're putting Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, that's the other Crown Jewel Championship match, in Saudi Arabia for a meaningless title. Cody Rhodes has eliminated Gunther in the past 2 men's Royal Rumble matches. There is an epic storyline to be told there. And they're just doing a singles match, a glorified exhibition match for a title that doesn't mean anything, a prop that Gunther or Cody Rhodes could carry around. And I'm expecting, because they teased something at Bad Blood, I'm expecting Goldberg to interfere in this match and cost Gunther, which would make Cody Rhodes look stupid if he's celebrating with the title if Goldberg gets involved, because then he didn't defeat Gunther on fair ground, and he's the babyface. I just don't understand the build to any of these so far. And you showed me Goldberg and Gunther having a confrontation at Bad Blood. You showed me that. Security had to separate those 2 stars. So I'm expecting some kind of payoff there. And I'm expecting Goldberg to get his retirement match that Vince McMahon fucked him out of after he lost to Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber 2022. Vince McMahon, I don't understand why Goldberg needs an agreement in place to lose to Roman Reigns. He's in his 50s now, or he's approaching 60. Like, why does he need an agreement 2 years ago? Like, all right, I'll lose to Roman Reigns. I'll put him over if you give me a retirement match. How about you just lose to Roman Reigns and put him over because you're Goldberg and it's not 1998? But that's just my thoughts on that. But Goldberg wanted a retirement match, and Vince McMahon, the weasel, the scoundrel, the criminal that he is, just didn't give it to him. Fucked him over. And that's bullshit. You keep your word to people you talk to. You say you're going to do something, you do it. That's just how I operate. I don't fuck people over like that. Vince McMahon is a different type of cat, obviously. Based on that documentary, he's a monster. But we'll see how the court system plays out, but he's a monster. But Goldberg deserves a retirement match for all of his fans. I'm not one of them at all. At all. Not a big Goldberg guy. But he has millions of fans. So give him a retirement match. And against Gunther, I'm interested. They got me on that one. But I'm expecting Goldberg to play a part in this Crown Jewel Championship match. Otherwise, if it's just a singles match between Gunther and Cody Rhodes, I'm going to enjoy it. But that's a WrestleMania match. That's a huge match. I'd even be more invested if it was just a Survivor Series champion versus champion, Raw versus SmackDown, the old format. The Crown Jewel Championship, means nothing to me. They can do nothing to make that title mean anything to me unless it's going to be defended regularly. If it's just a prop that once a year, the two champions are fighting for the Crown Jewel Championship and they carry it around for a couple of weeks and then we forget about its existence until next October and November, that's bullshit. And I'm just not excited about Crown Jewel at all. We already got CM Punk saying he's not going to be there, which is fine. Him and Drew McIntyre should sell that Hell in a Cell match for a full month after what they put each other through. But this card, Gunther versus Cody Rhodes on paper, sounds excellent. But then you look at everything around it and you're like, wow, why are they doing this now? Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax on paper sounds horrific. And then you look at it some more and you're like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing it? Just feels like a giant house show. And I'm just not invested at all in the Crown Jewel build at all. I don't care about the Crown Jewel Championships. We'll see how they rectify this in the weekend or sort of 10 days they have until the premium live event. I just don't think there's any rectifying it. There's only 3 matches on the card so far. Triple H only likes to have 5. So we'll see maybe it's the Judgment Day versus whoever wins the tournament, so the other match, and then we'll see what other random match he comes up with. But so far, Gunther versus Cody Rhodes sounds good on paper. I'm just not happy with the build at all. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed should be an epic, just chaotic slugfest. It should be tables broken. If that's just a singles match, I'll be pissed. But if they need to kill each other in that match, and I'm looking forward to it. But that's it for this week's episode of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. Not this week. That's it for this episode. I will see you guys on Thursday or Friday, whenever I upload another one. Maybe right after SmackDown, but I'll be uploading a couple of these every week. Just leave some comments down below. If you made it to this point in the video, if you're the 1 or 2 people that are still watching, let me know what you want this show to be. I'm adaptable. If you want me to find someone else to co-host it, I'll go look. If you want it to just be me, and I'll just lean into this, and it'll get weirder and weirder as it goes, because I get angry about things that most people don't get angry about in the wrestling business. So we'll see, but let me know. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you guys on the next episode.